Dominika, wearing a golden crown, is the principal dancer of Russia's Grand Theater. Her beauty attracts countless admirers, but she dances only for one reason. Her mother's medical care depends on the theater's support. She must remain at the peak of her career to secure her mother's treatment. But life rarely goes according to plan. During what seems like another perfect performance, Dominika's nightmare begins. Her male dance partner deliberately breaks her leg. Dominika awakens in a hospital bed, steel pins holding her shattered bones together. Her dancing career is over. 3 months later, Dominika can finally walk again. Returning home, she finds an unexpected visitor. Her Uncle Vanya has come to see them. Uncle Vanya, deputy director of the security bureau, rarely visits due to his demanding work. As her mother prepares tea, Vanya offers Dominika employment and leaves behind a file. After he leaves, Dominika opens the file to find a recorder and photographs documenting her male partner's conversations with another dancer. The evidence reveals a jealous rival seduced her partner to deliberately destroy Dominika's career. Furious, Dominika confronts the conspirators in the theater's shower room, striking them both with her cane before fleeing in panic. Returning home, she finds her mother collapsed in agony. The nurse who cared for her has stopped coming. They can no longer afford her services. Desperate to care for her mother, Dominika turns to Uncle Vanya for help. But this old fox from Russian intelligence never helps without expecting something in return, even from his own niece. Vanya gives her instructions. Shower, change into the red dress he's provided, and prepare for what comes next. At the hotel bar, she must attract Russian oligarch Ustinov's attention, engage him in conversation, then accompany him to his room and replace his phone when he's distracted. But Ustinov treats Dominika roughly. Just as the situation turns dangerous, a helmeted assassin appears behind him, killing him with a wire garrote. Terrified, Dominika follows the killer's orders. Using a silenced pistol, he shoots the door lock and escorts her to the underground garage. After eliminating the bodyguard, they escape on a motorcycle. At a remote house, the killer removes his helmet, revealing his face. Then the mastermind enters the room. It's Uncle Vanya, transformed into someone unrecognizable. He explains that because Dominika witnessed the assassination and saw the killer's face, she has only 2 choices. She can undergo special training to become a Russian spy, or she can die. The choice is obvious. Dominika must choose the first option. Before leaving, she says goodbye to her mother, who gives her crucial advice. Never fully trust this demonic uncle. Always keep something in reserve. The car carrying Dominika drives through the Russian countryside. She knows her life is about to change forever. There's no going back. Dominika arrives at Russia's 4th secret military school in the frozen wasteland of Siberia. The female instructor greets her with the first rule of the KGB. Under no circumstances can you reveal your real name or personal information to anyone, police, captain, or otherwise. All students here are called Sparrows, beautiful young men and women recruited through various channels. The school's primary lesson: how to discover weaknesses through seduction and exploit them. The instructor demonstrates by ordering Dominika and a male student to undress in front of everyone. When Dominika hesitates in disbelief, the instructor explains that their bodies belong to the state. They must abandon dignity and morality to serve their country. To surrender dignity, Dominika masters various specialized skills: shooting, lockpicking, and surveillance. As Uncle Vanya predicted, she proves to be a natural talent in espionage. She excels in every subject, but her phoenix-like brilliance attracts jealousy and hatred from those around her. One day, while showering, danger strikes. A naked male student attacks her, pinning her against the wall. Long resentful of her success, he attempts to conquer her through rape. But Dominika won't be conquered so easily. She grabs an iron handle and beats him bloody. This violent incident brings Dominika before the headmaster himself. Strangely, he doesn't blame her for injuring the trainee. Instead, he mentions watching her dance performances with his wife, telling her there are many ways to live. The male student demands she turn around, but Dominika refuses. Instead, she faces him directly and removes all her clothes in front of everyone. Seeing Domenica's bold directness, the male student loses his sense of dominance, hastily dresses, and flees in shame. The headmaster recognizes that this student has mastered the art of understanding human nature. He arranges her graduation and sends her back to Russia. Before Domenica can properly reunite with her mother, Uncle Vanya calls. Her mother fears Domenica will never escape Vanya's control, but Domenica secretly vows to find a way out. At the restaurant meeting, Vanya assigns her a mission involving a CIA agent who had an encounter in a Russian park months earlier. When the agent met his informant to exchange information, they encountered a police patrol. To protect the informant's identity, the agent drew his weapon to distract the police. This diversion allowed the informant to escape while the agent fled to the U.S. Embassy, successfully evading capture. Now back in the United States, Russian security has discovered the agent has resurfaced in Budapest. Their mission: identify his original informant. Vanya sends Domenica to get close to the agent and uncover the traitor's identity. Though she doesn't want to be a spy, Vanya promises her freedom once this mission is complete. With no choice, Domenica travels to Budapest and moves into a Russian security residence with veteran spy Marta. As an experienced operative, Marta warns her that the local station chief is a lecherous old man. True to Marta's warning, the station chief immediately sets his sights on Domenica, looking for opportunities to approach her. But she doesn't take this lustful character seriously. From her intelligence files, she learns the target swims daily. She follows him from the pool to his home, then dyes her hair blonde overnight. The next day, she applies for membership at his regular swimming pool. When filling out her information, Domenica hesitates briefly, then tears up the fake identity form and writes her real name instead, deliberately exposing her true identity to the target. Wearing a provocative swimsuit, she deliberately catches his attention. When he approaches her, she discovers he noticed her surveillance yesterday and her fresh hair dye, proving he already knows she's deliberately targeting him. The next day, Domenica returns to the pool but finds no trace of the target. When she tries to retrieve her locker key, the manager can't find her registration form. It's been stolen. The target has investigated her background, discovering she was a ballet dancer and, more importantly, niece to Vanya, deputy director of Russian security. He decides to test whether he can turn this woman to his side. At an international cultural exchange, the target approaches Domenica openly. Knowing each other's backgrounds, they speak candidly. He clearly states his desire to befriend her, and they arrange to have dinner the following evening. That night, finding Marta absent, Domenica picks the lock to her room and searches it. Hidden in a corner, she discovers an envelope containing photographs of Marta with an American woman. The diary identifies this woman as a U.S. Senate Chief of Staff. Hearing the front door open, Domenica quickly scans more pages before Marta returns. Another entry reveals Marta plans to conduct an intelligence transaction with this woman in London for up to $250,000. As Marta enters, Domenica casually exits her own room. Marta hands her a note from headquarters. Domenica rejected the station chief's advances, so he filed a complaint claiming her spy operation shows no progress. Domenica realizes the danger she's in. Instead of meeting the target for dinner the next night, she follows him home to learn his address. Domenica decides to accelerate her approach, appearing at his door with fake tears and ringing his doorbell. Playing the victim, she attempts to seduce him and gain his trust. But he doesn't take the bait, instead asking her to think clearly about what she truly wants. For the first time, Domenica tastes failure at psychological manipulation. They arrange to meet at the pool the next day, but when Domenica waits there, the target never appears. With her mission growing desperate, she returns to his home and uses her lockpicking skills to break in. Searching his apartment yields nothing useful. As she prepares to leave, she notices the wine glasses from the previous night still on the coffee table. One glass bears the target's fingerprints. Domenica takes it, realizing the target has been silently planning something all along. Returning home, she's shocked to find Uncle Vanya waiting. The station chief's complaint has reached him, and he's made a detour from a Vienna conference to investigate the situation. With no substantial progress to report, Domenica desperately tells Vanya about discovering Marta's plan to sell $250,000 worth of missile intelligence to the Americans. She lies, claiming this operation is a joint effort between her and Marta. She requests Vanya provide the $250,000 for the transaction. Intrigued by this intelligence opportunity, Vanya temporarily spares her. As he prepares to leave, he reaches for his coat. Dominika offers to help him with his coat and quickly memorizes his passport number before returning it. Turning around, she finds Marta pointing a gun at her. She overheard the entire conversation with Vanya. Marta demands to know why Dominika is stealing the target she's cultivated for over a year. Dominika explains that while Marta, as a field operative, can't provide $250,000, she can get it from her uncle. Marta questions why Dominika is so desperate to complete this mission. In response, Dominika reveals the truth about Vanya's assassin killing the Russian oligarch. Such secrets cannot be shared with anyone. If word leaked, Dominika would certainly be silenced. But this revelation seals Marta's fate as well. After the confrontation, Dominika goes to the train station to buy a ticket to Vienna, then visits a local bank. Through the window, she spots her next target, a young, inexperienced male clerk. As the bank closes, Dominika urgently requests to open a new account. The young clerk she's targeted is responsible for locking up. Charmed by the beautiful, distressed woman, he agrees to help and invites her for coffee while processing her paperwork. Meanwhile, jealous Marta reports Dominika's activities to the vindictive station chief. Exhausted, Dominika returns to the Budapest residence to find Marta absent and the bathroom door ajar. Pushing open the door, she discovers the same assassin who killed the oligarch. Marta lies dead in the bathtub, brutally murdered. The killer spares Dominika for Vanya's sake but warns her. If anyone learns about the oligarch's murder, she'll be the next one in that bathtub. The killer orders her to call the police before leaving. After a local investigation yields no useful leads, the police release Dominika. Waiting outside the police station is the target, missing for days. He received notice from an informant to meet at a designated location. The intelligence he's received reveals Dominika's true identity as a legendary Russian-trained Sparrow spy. He exposes her background completely, contrasting American and Russian intelligence agencies, and condemning the KGB's ruthless treatment of its own operatives. The agent hopes to turn Dominika, recruiting her to serve the CIA instead. He promises to use all his resources to protect her from Russian retaliation. Moved by his words, Dominika agrees to help the agency. At the CIA safe house in Budapest, two supervisors wait for her. For security, they administer a polygraph test to verify her genuine willingness to defect. Such tests pose no challenge for specially trained spies. After passing, Dominika states her terms. She needs $30,000 deposited monthly in her Vienna account. The CIA director calls her demand outrageous for someone who's provided no valuable intelligence yet. Dominika responds by revealing the Senate Chief of Staff's plan to sell missile intelligence. This bombshell stuns the CIA operatives. They can't underestimate this Russian spy any longer. Arrangements are made for Friday at a designated London hotel. The Russian security agency deposits their prepared $250,000, while the CIA provides a fake disk to replace the real missile intelligence. In the hotel lobby bar, Dominika waits for the American Chief of Staff. Unexpectedly, another uninvited guest arrives, the station chief, claiming he came to assist but actually sent by a suspicious Vanya. When the Chief of Staff arrives, Dominika approaches and introduces herself as today's contact. Seeing an unfamiliar face instead of Marta, the woman becomes suspicious and prepares to leave. But Dominika has thoroughly researched her target. Knowing the Chief of Staff desperately needs money, she employs her psychological manipulation skills again. Using persuasive words, she convinces the wary woman to proceed to the room for the transaction. Seeing the large bag of prepared cash, the Chief of Staff drops her guard and hands over the disc containing missile intelligence. Dominika goes to the desk to access the hidden compartment, but finds it jammed. After several attempts, she finally opens it and begins replacing the real disc with the fake one. The operation takes longer than expected, arousing the station chief's suspicion. As he moves to investigate, the CIA supervisor monitoring from another room springs into action, ringing the transaction room's doorbell. She distracts the station chief by posing as hotel management conducting a satisfaction survey. buying Dominica precious time to complete the disk swap and finalize the transaction. Before leaving, Dominica tells the chief of staff to wait an hour before departing. But as soon as Dominica exits, the intoxicated woman stumbles out with the money bag. At the traffic light, the chief of staff notices CIA agents monitoring her from both sides. Panicking, she throws the money bag into a trash can and staggers across the street. But a large man emerges from a van, approaching her. Realizing she's been exposed, the chief of staff slowly retreats, but is struck and killed by a speeding truck. The KGB agents stationed outside the hotel witness the incident and immediately call the station chief. The cunning station chief orders the driver to head to the airport, informing Moscow of their successful operation. He decides to fly back to Moscow immediately and demands Dominica return the disc and her passport. Sensing danger, Dominica realizes something has gone wrong. She remains calm while retrieving the disc from the hotel room, preparing to leave. The CIA handler calls, informing her of the chief of staff's death. Dominica is devastated, understanding that her identity as an American asset is now exposed. He rushes to the airport hoping to rescue her. Bursting into the terminal with his weapon, he catches up to Dominica in the security line. When Dominica sees him, she shakes her head, signaling him not to act rashly. Heartbroken, he watches helplessly as she's taken away. Back at Security Bureau headquarters, a female interrogator questions whether Dominica leaked transaction information to the Americans. Despite brutal beatings, Dominica stubbornly refuses to confess. Stripped and locked in a cell, she's doused with ice water, then dragged back to the interrogation room where the female agent asks the same question while preparing a rubber truncheon. The interrogator shows Dominica a video of the station chief, who returned with her being executed with a bullet to the head. Standing behind Dominica with a pistol, she asks the question one final time. Dominica still refuses to admit guilt. The interrogator pulls the trigger, the gun is empty. Surviving this psychological torture, Dominica vomits from the physiological shock. Vanya appears, demanding the truth. But Dominica claims everything was part of completing his original mission. She did all this to gain American trust and ultimately identify the mole. Vanya cannot refute this explanation. Such deception is normal procedure for completing assignments. Seeing his suffering niece, Vanya softens. Dominica escapes death's door and is temporarily released. When Vanya reports to the security director, they suspect Dominica has deceived him and developed feelings for the American agent. Under pressure, Vanya promises to eliminate her the moment he finds evidence of her real betrayal. Returning home, he finds his niece waiting for him. Dominica bids farewell to her uncle before departing, but this time she uses seduction techniques on him. Perhaps she's always known this relative harbored inappropriate feelings for her. Back in Budapest with her handler, she knows he will never reveal the informant's name and will ultimately die. She wants to flee to America for asylum and demands more money. Dominica requests the full $250,000 be deposited in her Vienna account. The handler agrees to all her demands, finally captivated by this Russian woman. When she approaches for another kiss, he doesn't resist. After their passionate encounter, Dominica awakens to find her lover gone. Opening the dining room door, she discovers the assassin has already bound him with wire rope. Understanding the situation immediately, she knows Vanya couldn't wait any longer. She walks over to help the killer secure his restraints. The assassin loosens the wire temporarily but produces a skin peeler, a medical instrument used for burn victims. He plans to torture the handler slowly until he reveals the informant's name. Dominica watches expressionlessly as the killer tortures her handler, even helping to hold him down. When he remains stubborn and silent, she signals to try the technique herself. But when the killer relaxes his guard and turns away, she suddenly erupts into action. She had been pretending to cooperate, looking for an opportunity to strike. The bound handler and Dominica fight the assassin together. Dominica manages to sever the killer's tendons. Unable to stand, the assassin falls, and she finishes him off. When Dominica awakens, she finds herself in a hospital bed with minor injuries. Her biggest concern now is what to do next. The killer's death proves she must be considered a traitor. An unexpected visitor appears, the headmaster. Dominica thinks he's come to kill her, but he reveals he is the informant. His wife has terminal cancer, and the Russian government won't allow American doctors to operate. This is why he betrayed his country. Tired of being an insider, he sees Dominica's potential to replace him. He asks her to expose him so she can survive and take over his position, continuing intelligence work with the Americans. With this major turn of events, Dominica begins to act. She first surrenders to Budapest police, confessing to murder and requesting to meet with the Russian ambassador. She demands to call the Russian security director directly, wanting to report the informant's name in exchange for criminal immunity. Dominica gives the director the informant's name over the phone. Meanwhile, the headmaster returns home, leaving his door unlocked as he sits on the sofa, waiting quietly. Police escort Dominica to the airport where CIA personnel wait. Her handler looks at her with disappointed eyes as she completes her apparent betrayal. A Russian helicopter arrives with the informant for the prisoner exchange. When ordered to remove the hood and verify identity, everyone is shocked. It's not the headmaster but Vanya. Only then does the handler realize Dominica has deceived them all. But at this moment, he cannot expose the truth. Russia confirms this is their target for exchange. Dominica had told the security director the informant was not the headmaster, but her uncle Vanya. The director's investigation found the handler's wine glass in Vanya's home, plus evidence of secret calls to Americans and the $250,000 transfer to Vienna. Did I do well? Vanya asks quietly. Uncle? Vanya whispers final words in Dominica's ear before walking toward the Americans. But Russia never intended to let a traitor leave safely. A long-position sniper puts a bullet through Vanya's head. Dominica returns to Russia as a new patriotic hero. The headmaster sits down and applauds her with satisfaction. She has replaced her uncle as the new deputy security director and become the ultimate double agent, a Red Sparrow. She will continue to navigate between America and Russia. To survive, she must keep playing this deadly game.